From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, if you're in a hurry in the morning, say you've got to get the kids off to school, although schools, we're in the middle of summer, don't have to worry about that, but you're in a hurry, you don't have time to watch the full forecast, but you just want to know what to expect as you head out the door, know what to expect for the day. Well, check out Kruger's QuickCast. Just go to weathernorcal.com in the forecast video section where you find the main weather forecast, like the one you're watching right now. You can find Kruger's QuickCast. Again, you usually do it in about a little over a minute, and you are good to go, and you know everything you need to know to get out the door. I want to remind you to send in those photos like Tracy did here. This is a beautiful shot of a butterfly resting on a rose bush. Tracy, thank you so much for sending in that image. Nice close-up shot. So again, a reminder that you can also share your photos. If you want to see it right here on Weather NorCal on the morning update or on Coffee with Kruger, you'll see the same one on Coffee with Kruger, then all you got to do is go to your free Weather NorCal app on your iPhone or your Android and upload the photo from your phone through the app. It's really easy. I want to see all those photo files that is here really stack up, and we'll be able to share more and more of those photos here each week. All right, we do have a cooling trend. It is going to peak today. So if you haven't been enjoying the heat, today's the day to get out and enjoy it, the cooler weather, before it starts to warm back up again. Now the temperatures, they're going to be fluctuating a little bit each day by a degree or two, but overall just kind of leveling out before we see, of course, that big heat wave for next week. And I think it's going to be the biggest heat wave so far for the year that we've seen, with temperatures possibly even reaching 110 degrees, and that would be the first time this year. And by the way, the fire danger should be decreasing over the next few days as well. So here's your neighborhood forecast at a glance. Those temperatures in the low to mid 90s in the valley. Again, not bad. Temperatures actually may be a bit below normal for this time of the year. 70s and 80s for the higher elevations, and for the coast, right around 60 degrees. Do want to give you the latest update on the Apache fire here, and let's go ahead and take you to watch duty right now. That's actually the Clear Fire. Let's talk about the Clear Fire real quick up there in Modoc County. And it's in the Clear Lake National Wildlife Refuge area. This, as of about 10 hours ago, that's the latest coming in from CAL FIRE, 700 acres and 10% containment at this point. So this is something that's going to be worth watching here. Not getting any heat signatures, not getting anything coming in from this fire as far as any of the technical or the data that we use here. Here's a look at the Apache fire. Let's go ahead and click on this. It's at 60% containment as of about 12 hours ago from earlier this morning at 691 acres. So we look at the Apache fire, and this is looking at some of the technology that we have, the satellite images, as I mentioned. The heat signature that we're seeing right here, that's probably about 3 days old. So we're not seeing any recent activity from the Apache fire, which is very good news. And again, I'm not showing you the one up in Modoc County because the satellite's not picking up on anything at this point. So we'll have to kind of watch that one closely as well. Now the winds, this is one of the things that we look at when we're talking about fire danger, right? So we do expect a little spike in those winds here later on this afternoon and evening, especially for western Tehama County and even getting close to the Redding area as well. Not as bad as we saw yesterday for many of the eastern mountains, so I'm not really concerned about the fire danger there. Now what's interesting, it was actually starting off Friday morning in the valley with some gusty north winds, but those winds should subside, taking you into your Friday afternoon, and still those north winds out along the coast over the next few days. Dry conditions will persist. I'm expecting anywhere from about single digits to even upwards of about 20% here for today, especially for the valley, and not to mention even the Modoc County area and the eastern mountains. We see some nice recovery overnight, and then we see just as dry conditions here going into your Friday as well. So what that means for a fire weather risk, actually not that bad. You can see here going through the day mainly in that moderate category here for the valley, but with that spike in the winds, it may briefly pick up here as we go into this evening. We take a look at Friday afternoon, again, mainly in the moderate category here, just kind of getting the yellows right here, and barely touching those yellows in some spots here in the eastern mountains. So again, the fire weather risk isn't as bad as it has been. So again, we're seeing that decrease in that fire danger here. Also, you'll notice all the monsoon moisture to our east, that has shifted to the east as expected, leaving us with mainly sunny skies. This is the cooling trend. That's the cooler air that's going to be over us today. By tomorrow, you can see it pushes to the east. Then we've got this trough of low pressure, or cooler air. It's not going to dive as far south as the one that's moving over us today. So as a result, temperatures are going to be a bit warmer. Now, the big heat that you see here, that's not until next week, because as we go through the weekend, temperatures, as I mentioned, are going to be kind of leveling out. But we've got two areas of high pressure we've got our eyes on. This one here and another one over to the southeast. This is the one that we've really got to keep our eyes on, because this is what could bring us that big heat here for next week. Now, I was seeing signs of what we're looking at right here late last week and early this week. But then the forecast models backed off on this solution. But over the last 24, 48 hours, we've seen this return now. Now, when you look at a ridge of high pressure like this, especially this time of the year, this is when we're talking about big heat. This is looking at the 4th of July. It's going to peak sometime around Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Temperatures could easily reach that 110 degree mark here as we go into Wednesday, Thursday. It could even exceed that as well. So this could possibly be the hottest temperatures that we've seen so far for the year. And it may even be the longest stretch. We might be going into the longest stretch of triple-digit heat as well. But the good news is this won't last forever. This will actually retreat off to the east by the end of next week as this cooler air begins to kind of push eastward. It's going to help to kind of push that heat down to our east and southeast as well. Now, again, we're talking about the number of days and all that, as far as the temperatures are concerned with 100 plus degree temperatures. So when I was looking at the statistics through June, this year we've already seen 11 days of 100 plus degree temperatures. Last year at this point, 5 days. So we're actually hotter than we were at this point than we were last year. However, the record since 1893 was in 2021. We're at this point through June, 20 days of 100 plus degree temperatures. So we're kind of in between last year and of course the record here this year. All right, so it's consecutive days that we've seen 100 plus degree temperatures. This year, June 20th, which was the 1-year anniversary of Weather NorCal, by the way, through the 24th, 5 consecutive days. That's how many days that we've seen so far, the longest stretch of 100 plus degree temperatures. 2 years ago, in 2022, around the same time it started, but 9 consecutive days of 100 plus degree temperatures. So we're not doing as bad as we have in previous years. And the record actually in 1961 was June 13th through the 27th with 15 consecutive days. So again, when we're talking about the heat, I was actually talking to someone yesterday, and they're saying, you know, so far it doesn't seem like it's been really tragically hot just yet. And, you know, in some senses that certainly is true, because when you look at these statistics, you can see we're really not above normal. It's just pretty much status quo, really. All right, so we look at the wave heights, and there you can see the wave heights aren't going to be all that high today, but as we go into tomorrow, we are going to see those wave heights probably start to increase here as we take you into your Friday. All right, so here's your marine forecast for today. North winds at 10 to 15 knots. No advisories, although that may change by tomorrow. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the 80s, 81 for Ruth, a bit cooler in Burnt Ranch with a temperature of about 77 degrees. And your North Coast neighborhood forecast. Temperatures even for the North Coast are going to see an increase in the temperatures. Could we even see some 70 degree temperatures for parts of the coast by the middle and latter part of next week? Not out of the question, right? We take a look at the inland areas to see how temperatures are going back up Friday, back down again, and then going back up. In fact, the triple digits even for the inland areas by next Wednesday. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast for today, mainly in the low to mid 80s, although some of the cooler spots Now they can see Ashland about 77, 74 for Doris, and Tennant about 75 degrees. And look at these temperatures, even for Mount Shasta. I mean, you're getting up to 95 degrees by next Wednesday. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast for today, mainly in the mid to upper 70s, and seeing that big increase in the temperatures for next week. In your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, 81 out towards Westwood, 81 for Chester, and Paradise a high of about 85 degrees today. In your Valley neighborhood forecast, brought to you by NorCal Tractor, these temperatures, as I mentioned, they are going to start to drop. I think some of us maybe in the Valley may even struggle to get into the 90s. So we'll call it low 90s for Corning southward, low to mid 90s for Redding, down to Red Bluff with a high of 93 there. 94 in Redding, and Lake at a high of about 91 degrees. So we look at your 7-day outlook for Redding, and look at these temperatures. Just kind of leveling out by tomorrow through Sunday, leveling out about 100 degrees. And temperatures start to increase after that. Could get up to 110 degrees by the middle of next week.
Cottonwood Small Animal Clinic is one of the only clinics in the area that can see your pet same day and for evening emergencies. We're always striving to improve the care that we give to your pets.
Here at Cottonwood Veterinary Clinic, we have 10 brilliant doctors here to provide your pet with amazing collaborative care. From not only your dog to your cat, but also your gecko, your horses, your goats, and your cows. Come on down and see us. Both clinics are located in the heart of Cottonwood.